Hello everyone, I'm Zhihong. Today the topic I want to share is encoding and decoding of Marlboro's cowboy's poster. I choose this topic because Marlboro is a famous brand in the world and it has an interesting history. And did you know it used to be a women's cigarettes brand and it didn't sell well? Actually, Marlboro's success began with targeting the male's market. The classic image is a cowboy. I want to utilize this poster with encoding and decoding to discuss what did the design of this poster do and how did the image change the impressions for American and why it can change the market to make Marlboro a success. Here, the poster will be analyzed in combinations with encoding and decodings. And in these presentations, I divided it into three parts. And in the first part, I will describe the concepts of the encoding and decodings. And on the second part, I will show you the history of Marlboros, and on the third part, I will show you the success of Marlboro's cowboy's poster and use the encoding and decoding encoding service to analyze it. Now, let's talk about encoding and decoding first. And it was successed by Stuart Hall, a famous sociologist and researchers of the cultural studies. And in the series of encoding and decodings, I have outlined the concepts of the origins, and in my opinion, encoding is a meaning creation process which transfers information from one force to another, and decoding is a relative to encodings and is a process by which the audience restores or reserves symbols or codes to the information. And encoding and decoding enables the symbols or codes to enter the construction of the social space properly under the restriction of the rules of the language's discourse. And in other words, encoding and decoding are two significant factors in communication process, which decrease the accuracy of the information. And please look at these pictures. These are key theories of the Stuart Hall's writing, and we can think of the process which is on the left, and you can see the mouse in the screening, yes, as process. We can see the process which is on the left as productions. Inside the process on the right is conceptions and reproduction, and the whole process is circulations. And if you look closely, the information on the left is similar to the information on the right, except the orders of the process. Look at the three processes in the bottom left. In these regions, and the right regions on the bottom, and they represent the environment and the knowledge that the encoder and decoders have, and I think they use this to encode and decode the informations. But did you notice that it may have some problems in this construction? And because the backgrounds or the knowledges from the encoders may different between that of the decoders. So when these reserves or send the informations, they may produce a different meaning of the code when the decoder and the encoder say, which is easy to form misunderstandings. But it also could be reach the completely informations transmissions. And this is what I want to discuss in this poster because it did. And let's move on today's topic. And what did you think of it when you see these pictures? And you may think of the passionate flavors of the life in it, or the manliness, or the confident and strong image you want to get. And most people want these features to this. And this is a posters from the Marlboros after the 1950. And let's talk about the history of some Marlboros. And Marlboro is the American brand of the cigarettes. The mark Marlboros was registered in the United States in 1908, owned by Philip Morris, although its name is from the Great Marlborough Street, London. And Marlboros is a global best-selling cigarette brand since 1922. As of 2017, Marlboros has a 40% market share in the United States, more than the next 7 competing brands combined. As uses, the Marlboro's advertising campaigns has more influence on the society than others did, and everyone wants to look like that strong and confident man. So it's why the Marlboro's success in these societies, because they grasp the desires of the humans, and people have the desire to buy this cigarette. And did you know the Marlboros start with women's? Originally, Marlboros was a women's brand of cigarettes with filter tips. And even in order to fit the features of women's, Marlboros proposed slogans, mild as May, and the beauty tips to tip the paper from your lips. But that hadn't added much market share for it. Instead, it put a man off. And the positions of the Marlboros purported as a women's cigarette from the 1924 to 1955, as it didn't sell well, actually. And by the 1950s, the studies has linked smoking with cancers, and it is a serious blow to the cigarette industries. As for the Marlboros, it was close to bankruptcy. And shortly before the World War II, the brand sales stagnated at less than 1% of the cigarette sales in the US and was briefly withdrawn from the market. Afterwards, Camel's Lucky Strike and Chesterfield was the only common cigarettes in the world. So, face these conditions. What did the Philippines Morals do after that time? How can this save the Marlboros in the world? And did you know what they did after that time? Actually, they asked the American advertising executives at Chicago's advertising Leo Burnett for help. And when Leo Burnett received the assignment, and he proposed that Marlboros should give up the image of the women's cigarettes to the men's cigarettes because because there is a biggest market for the men. And after some testings, Leo Burnett chose the cowboy's image as a brand image of the Marlboros. And to contest to the cater to the young people at that time. They use some bright and some elements in the posters to attract all audience eyes. And look at this poster and how many codes you can see in these posters. And you may see the wings, the cowboys, the shadows, the logo of Marlboros, the gesture of the Marlboros, and the text. And what's the meanings of this in this poster? Why the poster can get the big success after the 1960s when the Leo Burnett proposed the posters in the world. And in my opinion, the way is indicating the bodies of poster, which is the cigarette, implies the life force of the Marlboros is tenacious like the wings. And look at the background, the right color's background, which means the passions as strong as the generals, and the shadows, and implies the sunshine, which represents the warmth, passions, enjoyables, and malice. And the cowboys, an image of the masculinity, and which is strong confidence, fairness, and hierarchy. And look at the gestures of cowboys, and you can feel the relaxed and the happiest or the leisure in the features. And that's the logo of the Marlboros, and it shows the kids' products of the poster. And what's the meaning of the poster, do you think? In my opinion, I think it is stressed as the Marlboros contains warmth, passions, enjoyables, malice, confidence, fearless, and which is the best product for those yummies for this kind of life. And why this can get the success? I think that these characteristics in these posters, which is the features that American people want to get after the Great Depressions. As the encoders, who is Leo Burnett, knows what people want, and he adds these features into the productions, and it immediately gets people's attentions, and people want these features, and it attracts people's consumption's desires. At this time, I think the meanings from encoding and the decodings are mostly the same things, and in modern times we can use repositions to call it, which is from the theory of the Jack Child, the fathers of the positionings in Americans. And at the end, let's do the conclusions. And I think the encoding and decoding are important elements of the semiotics and linguistics. They not only express how the code works in the information exchange process, but also reflects the intentions of encoders and the behaviors of the audience, and the relationships of these two. Although the theory of the encoding and decoding have not been raised yet when this poster was designed, it was certain that the content of the text had always been related to the values or rotations, which it is in encoders or the decoders. It is a modulus process. And this is reference. And thank you for your listening. If you have any questions, please ask me. Thank you.